Hello, everyone. It's another day, and we've been blessed to meet once again. This is Religious Vocation Digest on Cafdil TV. Today, we bring you an exclusive interview with the Provincial Superior of the FIC brothers from WA. Let's take this short break. We'll be back shortly.
So I am in the person of Brother Prosper Ganye. I am from Nandom Kogule, and I stay in Avelinus Youngson community. I am the brother in charge of youth, apostolate, and vocation promotion. So I want to use this platform, this medium, to appeal to the young men out there that if you are searching for vocation, if you are searching for a particular way of life, the FIC way of life is what I would recommend for you. And then if you have the desire to be a consecrated man, then I'll recommend the FIC way of life. Now, who can join us? Every person, and I mean every baptized, practicing Catholic young man who is not married, you are eligible to be part of us. Apart from that, you must have the desire to be a non-clerical religious. Non-clerical in the sense that you must have the desire to be a brother and not a priest, because we are only brothers. We are non-clerical men religious. So you must have that desire to be a brother to Christ and a brother to your fellow brothers, living with them in community. You must also attain the ages between 18 and 30 years. So you must either be 18 or above, or 30 or below. Beyond that, you must possess or be pursuing any of these, academic qualifications, either a WASI certificate, an NAPTEX certificate 2, or you must have a diploma in any professional career or a degree from any recognized university. You are eligible to be part of us. Apart from that, you must have good health, you must have suitable character, and you must have the sufficient qualities that are needed for one to embrace the proper FIC way of life to be part of us. And so with all these qualities, then you are eligible to be a member of the FIC family.
You're welcome back from the short break. I am Sister Marian, your host for the day. I'm reminding you that we are on Facebook, Cafdil Cape Coast, YouTube, Cafdil EDU. Share the link with friends and family, especially those aspiring to join the consecrated life. I am with the Provincial Superior of the FIC brothers. Without much ado, I'll go straight to him as he introduced himself to us. Brother, you're most welcome.
Thank you very much. My name is Brother Professor Clement Naapire, FIC, an FIC brother, and I've joined the congregation since 2002. I professed my first vows in 2002. So 2002 till date is 23 years. I'm heading towards my silver jubilee.
And you still look young.
So, thanks be to God.
Are you a Ghanaian?
Yes, I'm a Ghanaian.
Okay.
I'm from Nandom, in the Upper West region. In fact, Nandom specifically in the village, Nandom Gozir. And I was born in 1972. So I may look young, but I'm quite old. Yeah.
Growing up in the village, how did you discover the FIC brothers?
Yes, initially, my mother actually joined the SMI sisters and left as a postulant. I got married to my father, and then they gave birth to me. I was actually the fifth born, and ever since I was growing up, my mother have kind of been telling me the stories about religious life and how they were in Nabringo and all the things that happened. So I got excited about that. And when I was in school, primary school, I was not thinking too much about it to the JHS until I got to the secondary school, where I met the brother you just interviewed, that is Brother Fabian Kumple. He was a very close friend to my senior brother. They were classmates in Boko Secondary School. So whilst I was in the secondary school, he used to visit me in Tumu. And he would pick me to the brother's house, and I had an interaction with the brothers. When I completed school, that was all. I was not contacting them until I went to Kumasi, where I did my studies. And I heard about this marriage brothers. So I wrote to them, and they invited me for contact days. So I went for that contact days, and during that contact days, I met one of the aspirants who gave me the address of Brothers FIC.
Okay.
So he reconnected me to Brothers FIC, and I wrote to them. So the time I wrote to them, I didn't hear anything, and I completed IMS, and I was posted to Doma Hikro to do my national service. So I was there, and one day I heard one of the brothers came to Sunyani looking for me, and that's Brother Augustine Cafdil. He's currently the General Superior in the Netherlands. He couldn't see me in Sunyani. Then he sat in the National Service Secretariat and wrote a letter.
Wow.
And he gave it to the coordinator, and he brought it to me at Doma Hikro. So when I received the letter, it was a type letter. In those days, It wasn't easy getting this type letter. So I read it, and I was, in the letter, I was being invited to come for contact days in Wahia. So from there, I came for the contact days, and that was where it started.
Okay. So when you came for the contact days, or come and see, as we may put it, you had options. You could have opted out. Mm-hmm. What made you stay?
Now, when I came for the contact days, normally you meet a lot of the formators for personal talks and all that. And I met quite a number of them, including the provincial superior at the time, Brother Methodius Kumusore. And one of the brothers who is here, he's currently my secretary, and the treasurer, Brother Godfrey Tampana. He was one of the formators at the time. When I met them and we had quite frank discussions, they asked me certain probing questions, some of which I didn't want to answer, but I answered them clearly. And later on, after that, when I left, Brother Godfrey called me and said, Clement, you were so frank to the extent that when I brought out your report and indicated to them the kind of answers you gave to me, everybody was surprised and said, this is a very honest guy. We need to take him. Because some of the questions that they asked, they thought I wouldn't answer them straight, but I was very blunt, straight to the point, and answered them. So, and I realized that interacting with them, the life they live, the kind of apostolate they do was quite encouraging. You know, and once I've met one of them, highly committed to the apostolate, early in the morning in the school, you see them, they'll be passing one by one, straight to school in Chinchang, a bit distant away from the brother's house. So coming to see them here, and what they were doing at In-Service Training Center, and they talked about their community life and the prayer life. Of course, those days I couldn't understand it to the full, but I said, no, there's a need for me to come and see what is happening. If they so agree, then they finally sent me a letter to come for initial formation, and I came.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you finally started your formation, was there any point during formation days that you actually wanted to change your mind?
Yes, there were a number of occasions that I wanted to run away, I'll call it like that. I wanted to change my mind. Now, in formation, some of the things that we were doing were not familiar to me. Then, at a point in time, attending the classes and whatnot, I was getting critical with the Bible, and some of the things I claimed at that time were contradictory. If you go to the Gospels, you know, at the time, my understanding was that all these people were following Christ, and all that he was doing, they saw it. But why the difference in the narration, you know, when you look at the Gospels properly? So this one will go this way, another one will go this way, but there are complementary aspects of it. And that made me to be thinking, is it that it's just something that is not the case and they are trying to bring it to us? So I contemplated a lot and said, maybe this thing is not the case. Why are they contradicting themselves? Then I asked the formators at the time. The answers they gave to me were not satisfactory. Then when the priest came to teach some of the courses, then I launched onto it and asked them again, why is it that the narratives are not the same? Because they were supposed to be with Christ throughout his journey. Then he now opened my eyes. He said, now the Bible was written some years after Christ had died. It was just an oral something that was going on. People were remembering what Christ did and what not. So at the point in time, they said, no, if we don't write these things down, at the point in time, everybody will forget. Then they started writing it down. That's why sometimes you may see things like they are contradictory, but they are not actually contradictory. A lot of them are complementary. So that was one occasion. Another occasion came, I had a disagreement with the formator at the time. And being somebody who is blunt, I just had to go to his office and stated it very clear that I disagree with this action respectfully. And I decided not to answer any question in class. So when I did that, the class became very boring because I was one of those who could ask very critical questions, and then he would talk and would laugh and all that. But I just withdrew because I wasn't pleased with that particular action. So one day he just called me. I said, Clement, can you accompany me to Wanye? You know, on the way to Cafdil. So I said, okay. Then I joined the car. He drove halfway and parked. I said, Clement, I know you have not been so happy with what I did or what I said. So please, just allow it to go. I'm sorry. Don't take it too hard. Just because when you withdrew, the whole class is always boring. So I want your contributions and all that. So he spoke a lot to me, and I said, oh, if the formator can apologize, then it means something. And that meant a lot for me at the time. And I said, okay, brother, if my withdrawal has caused any other thing, I'm very sorry about that. I want to get back and then we'll continue. And once I was quiet like that, I was contemplating leaving. And then the other issue had to do with our apostolic matter, when the emphasis in the classroom in the novitiate was just teaching. I said, but I'm not a teacher profession. At that time, they took professionals, teachers, and whatnot. But I wasn't a teacher. I read marketing, accounting, and the like at the at the IMS, Institute of Management Studies. So I was wondering, when you turn here, this brother is a teacher, this one is a teacher, the other one is a teacher, and in class they are emphasizing on teaching. And at that time, I heard stories like some nurses wanted to join the brothers and they didn't take them. So I came in as with a business background, and talking about teaching, I didn't like it at that time. So I planned to leave. That one I actually packed my things, because when I asked the formator, he said, if you don't want to be a teacher, you better leave. or you reconsider your decision. So I packed to leave. And then, fortunately, one brother just returned from UK. Brother Henry is in Accra now. He returned from UK and was staying in the guest house there in St. Louis. At the time, the formation house was in St. Louis. So I decided to go and see him because somebody told me that he was not a teacher. So I went and met him. I said, brother, this is my situation. I've packed to go because the emphasis has been on teaching. And I don't want to be a classroom teacher. So he looked at me and smiled and said, my brother, you don't have a case. Go and unpack. I am not a teacher. And I've been here for all these years. I am an administrator. I just went, I did my master's in the administration and all that, and I'm coming back to work. So that is not the case. So don't worry, unpack. When you profess, the appropriate place will be found for you. So that was a turning point for me. He convinced me that, pointed to me all kinds of places that I could help, I could work as a brother and all that. And truly, when I professed, my first point of call was at In-Service Training Center, where I was appointed the assistant manager and then the accountant of the place. So I think those were the occasions that I almost left the congregation. Yeah.
And I'm interested in the second one, where your formator had to apologize to you for what he did.
Yeah.
Do we still have such formators in the system who can easily apologize to formatees?
I should think so. I believe there are still one or two formators or some formators who can do that because they're learning from that experience. And as a provincial now, if I know that I've done something that is not pleasing to a fellow brother, and if I reflect on it, I realize that that's not the proper way of handling it, I should apologize. You know, apology is medicinal. Once you apologize, then the person, no matter how angry the person has been, you would have tamed the person to a particular level, and then you can discuss. So I think there should still be some formators like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what have you been up to after your first professional vows?
Yeah, after first profession, as I indicated, I was appointed the assistant manager of In-Service Training Center and also the accountant there. I was there for 3 years. Then I was sent to ICF. That time it was still at Brafoyal. Okay. I went for the 3 months program. Whilst in ICF, I wrote the Legon entrance exams. Then I was admitted. I went straight to level 200. Then I completed around 2008. And after completion, I was working for a project that is the Kaleo, where you went, the new project that you went and saw. I was appointed the coordinator of we were dealing with this disabled people. So I used to send them to Isawom, to Accra, to London for surgery, and then to Isawom and all that. So I was there while doing my national service with the University for Development Studies. Okay. At that time, as a teaching assistant. So I was there for 2 years. Then I was asked to further my education in accounting because the province needed an accountant at the time, a treasurer. So I went to Netherlands to study the master's program in accounting and finance. And when I came back, I approached the university again, and then I was appointed an assistant lecturer, later on promoted to a lecturer. And then I was also the treasurer. And this was around 2011. So in 2012, there was a chapter. Then I was voted to go for the general chapter in Indonesia. Came back and I was also voted a councillor in 2012 and appointed a treasurer again. So I was a counselor, treasurer, and then teaching in the University for Development Studies at that time until 2015, when I got admission to do the PhD in Portugal. And I went there. I resigned as a counselor after serving 3 years because I only 6 years.
Okay.
And then I went for the PhD. Unfortunately, I finished in 2018 when it was another chapter year. So I came back. I was voted to get into the chapter processes, the provincial chapter. Then I went for the general chapter again in the Netherlands. Came back and I was voted to be the vice provincial in 2018. So I was vice provincial, then I was still teaching in the university. They appointed me as head of department there. 2021, I was promoted to a senior lecturer, and then I continued to work as a vice provincial until 2024, when we ended our term as a council. Then in September last year, we had another chapter. I went for the general chapter and came back here. In fact, the general chapter was in Ghana here at In-Service Training Center. And then after the general chapter, we had the provincial chapter. And things didn't go well for me.
The Lord fell on you.
The Lord fell on me to be the provincial. And the day I was to take over, God being so good, I was promoted to a professor, as a professor, the same day, 21st of November, 2024. That was our foundation day.
Wow.
So, and since that time, I've been in this office, still combining it with lecturing. I'm also still head of department in the university. So I'm trying to see how I can combine the two going forward. If it is too much, then I'll drop the other one.
Okay.
I cannot drop this one because that's my life as a religious. So, but the way things are going, it looks like I'm able to combine all, because I have a very strong vice provincial.
Okay.
And then in the university, though I'm the head of department, there are also some lecturers that are very good. Once I assign them work, they're able to do it. So there's still that collaboration going on. And that's what I've been up to.
That's very good.
Yeah.
So being a lecturer for a number of years, what difference are you doing that other lecturers are not doing?
Now, I should say that as a religious, the commitment to duty in most cases is different from their commitment, because they have a lot of family issues and whatnot. And per my background as a religious, the approach to work is also quite different. And I wouldn't have been able to identify it, but they do. They would come and say, brother, the way you do, where do you get the energy to do all these things? And if we share an assignment, the way I do it, they will come and say, I always want to be with brother when we have an assignment. Okay, you know, this university, we are fond of going out for this third trimester. And then when they go out with me, we have to do the right thing. We have to visit all the students. Some can go and do 2 or 3 and they're back. But I insist that no, we have to, this is what we've been assigned to do, and we need to make sure that the students benefit from our time and then their resources. So those differences come back to me through what they tell me. Yeah.
I believe you've realized that brotherhood vocation is on the decline. I can speak for Ghana. I don't know of other countries. What could be some of the factors?
Yeah, as far as that one is concerned, the factors are quite numerous. One, in the first place, there's a general decline of vocation, be it to the priesthood, to whatever. There's a general one.
Okay.
And then we've realized that maybe to the priesthood is a bit, it's still a bit better. To the brotherhood is declining to a large extent, possibly because we are not that visible. You know, as religious, we want to do things at the background. We don't bring it out for people to do. We think that initially we didn't take it as something that could be promoting vocation. So we just do it like, I'm serving God, I'm serving the poor. There's no need for me to help somebody or to serve somebody, let every other person know of it. You know, so that's what has been happening. But now we realize that we are not known, even in the churches around here. Sometimes you ask, what do the brothers do? You say, oh, they have no idea, because the priest will say a mass at least all the time, and they will say, but the brothers, what did they do? And a very small boy once described the brothers to a colleague, that the brothers are those men who are not married, but in the morning they take tea and they are sweating and rushing to their workplace. When they take tea, they are sweating and they are rushing to their workplaces. A small boy. So we've not been able to ensure that we bring out what we do for the people to appreciate. Just because we thought initially there was no need to do that. People would discover it themselves. Yeah. But I think the way things are going, we need to be visible, like what you are doing. If we are visible, then maybe those who are called to the brotherhood vocation may join us.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. We'll be talking about your 60 years existence in Ghana. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But then let's take a break here. We'll be back shortly.
So I am in the person of Brother Prosper Ganye. I am from Nandom Kogle, and I stay in Avelinus Youngson community. I am the brother in charge of youth, apostolate, and vocation promotion. So I want to use this platform, this medium, to appeal to the young men out there that if you are searching for vocation, if you are searching for a particular way of life, the FIC way of life is what I would recommend for you. And then if you have the desire to be a consecrated man, then I'll recommend the FIC way of life. Now, who can join us? Every person, and I mean every baptized, practicing Catholic young man who is not married, you are eligible to be part of us. Apart from that, you must have the desire to be a non-clerical religious. Non-clerical in the sense that you must have the desire to be a brother and not a priest, because we are only brothers. We are non-clerical men religious. So you must have that desire to be a brother to Christ and a brother to your fellow brothers, living with them in community. You must also attain the ages between 18 and 30 years. So you must either be 18 or above, or 30 or below. Beyond that, you must possess or be pursuing any of these, academic qualifications, either a WASI certificate, a NAPTEX certificate 2, or you must have a diploma in any professional career or a degree from any recognized university. You are eligible to be part of us. Apart from that, you must have good health, you must have suitable character, and you must have the sufficient qualities that are needed for one to embrace the proper FIC way of life to be part of us. And so with all these qualities, then you are eligible to be a member of the FIC family.
You're welcome back to Religious Vocation Digest here on Cafdil TV. Today we are coming to you from the provincial house of the FIC brothers in Wa. And if you are just joining us, we are privileged to do this discussion with the provincial superior, Brother Clement. Brother, you're welcome once again.
Thank you very much, sister.
Yes. We cannot talk about the 60 years existence of the FIC brothers in Ghana without doing a proper history of the congregation. Tell us about your history.
Thank you very much, Sister. The FIC congregation was founded in the Netherlands,
Okay.
in Maastricht specifically, in the 1840 by Brother Benedus Hawking and Monsignor Louis Rutten.
Okay.
Louis Rutten, who is here to the right, he was a priest and assistant priest, and felt that there was a need for him to found a male religious congregation to take care of the needy children in Maastricht at the time. You know, around that time, the Industrial Revolution have kind of made a lot of parents to rush to work in industries, in factories here and there, leaving the children to their fate at that time. So he saw that bringing these children together would help them to have a future. So he decided, he was an assistant priest in the St. Sylva's parish. So he decided to bring these children together, a few of them together at the corner of the parish, just to give them some Christian education. So he was doing that alone, and later on he realized that the numbers were increasing because a number of children were at home. So he decided that he would found a congregation, and then a male congregation, so that they could help him to educate these children, to give them Christian education, and also to kind of give them formal education. And that was how he started. He got some postlands around, and then Bernardus was part of that. And later on, they got into the novitiate. So when they got to the novitiate, he decided to make Bernardus the general superior as a novice. So we have something in our congregation. We can say that even one of our founders was a general superior whilst he was still a novice. So we are referring to Bernardus, Brother Bernardus, as being the first brother of the congregation who was acting as the leader at the time, supported by Monsignor, because he realized that he was a priest, he was doing a lot, so just still to be the head of the congregation, it wouldn't be that helpful.
Yeah.
So he brought him in. So they were there, and then they started schools in the Maastricht, and later on they went into all corners of the Netherlands. They were there at the point they went into Belgium, and then around the 1920 thereabout, they decided to go into mission. And the first place they had to go was to go to Indonesia, because Indonesia was colonized by the Dutch. So it was easier for them to get into Indonesia to also start the congregation there. So they went to Indonesia, and they will continue with the same thing, building schools left and right. And then from there they moved into Chile, and then from Chile they came into Indonesia, and not Indonesia, they came into Malawi. Okay. Then they went into Gambia and withdrew back to Malawi, and around in 1965 they came into Ghana on the request of the bishop of the diocese at that time, late Cardinal Peter Porekun Dere, who went to Holland because he had heard a lot about the brothers FIC in elsewhere. And there was this local congregation, the St. Joseph congregation, that had quite a number of young men who wanted to be religious, but they didn't have, it was a local congregation, but they realized that a lot of them were leaving. So they needed an international congregation to come and then rope all the local brothers in and then form them as FIC brothers.
Okay.
So he applied to the brothers, the general superior at the time in Holland, and in 1965 they accepted to come to Ghana, and then they came and started in Kalio.
Okay. So that was the first settlement.
Yes, Kalio was the first settlement.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the bishop's invitation was that you come and then form the St. Joseph Brothers
And take over.
Yeah. Okay. And when the brothers came in, apart from the formation, what other apostolates did they start working with?
Okay. Thank you. When they came, they started forming the brothers, and then a few of them got professed. I believe you've seen one or two there.
Yes.
Brother Nicholas and then Brother Jerome. Two of them just died recently, last year. So when they professed, they realized that, okay, they had a few brothers who could be teaching in schools. So they started the Nandom Secondary School in Kalio.
Okay.
They started it first in Kalio, and then later on, they now built the school in Nandom, and then moved it to Nandom as the Nandom Secondary School at the time. That's St. Michael's. But now Nandom is popular. It's just a Nandom Secondary School. So they started that school in Nandom, and just to bridge that gap, because in those days, people from that area used to go to Navrengo, Weyaga site for education, the secondary school. Okay. So there was no secondary school around the Nandom enclave. So the brothers said, no, we need a secondary school there, and they went and established it there. So now you have quite a number of people from Nandom area, including ministers of state, Dr. Benjamin Kumbor and Co. all completed there. Okay. And many of the the current bishop in Navrongo Bolgatanga diocese, they all completed there. Huge people completed Nandom Secondary School. Now from there, they also realized that in building the secondary school and in building the churches around, there were no craftsmen around the north. Yeah. There were no craftsmen. So they decided that they would start a technical school so that they could train a lot of the craftsmen in building, in mechanic, and all those courses. So they started the Nandom, the St. John's Vocational Institute in Nandom. Okay. And then also started another, an agric project, because the method of farming in the area was not that good. So they introduced agric into it in Nandom.
Okay. 60 years of presence in Ghana. Mm-hmm. Is it worth celebrating?
Yes, in our considered view, we need to celebrate it, and to celebrate it in a grand style, because per our assessment, the FIC brothers in Ghana, or in our assessment, God has used the FIC brothers to do a lot for the people of Ghana, particularly those in the deprived areas like Kaleo, Nandom, and now to Tumu, Zebla, Tamale, Damango, Bole, Sunyane, Accra. God has used us to liberate a number of people, particularly in the education sector, because FIC were well known to be educators, establishing schools, both secondary schools and primary schools, JHS and all that. And any of the schools that were established, we move it away from the towns. And at certain points in time, the people in town would rather take their children and send them to the village to attend our schools. An example is the school in Tumu, Chinchang. We established 2 schools there in Tumu, St. Andrews and Chinchang. And Chinchang is in the village. And many of those in town were rather sending their children to the village to school there. We had another one in Zebla. And the people, Koboko, the people in Zebla town would prefer to send their children to the village to attend that particular school. So we believe that we need to celebrate it and to highlight some of the things we've been doing so that people will get to know that, yes, this is what we are using our lives and our money for the good of the society, and particularly the poor. One of our cardinal things, which sometimes we say that is our spirituality, is to have this soft spot for the poor and needy. Throughout our stay in Ghana here, we've also been focusing on helping the poor and the needy, trying to liberate them, to bring them out of poverty. And we do that in diverse ways so that we can achieve that. So we think that if we celebrate 60 years, it will highlight our activities, and particularly the technical education. You will see many of the contractors in the region and beyond, they all completed our school. Because the technical school in Nandom, and then we started another one in Kalios and Basilisk. And where you went to, that's the 3rd technical school we are trying to start. We are doing that one because of the activities of past governments. Because once they come into the scene to collaborate with you in these schools, assisted senior secondary schools and technical schools, they spoil the system. Yeah. You are not able to instill the kind of discipline and to train the children the way you want them to be trained. So we have had a lot of issues with government officials in the region and also outside the region. And we think that, yes, we have some schools that are government assisted, but we can have some private technical schools and other secondary schools that are not government assisted. And then we can train the people and instill the Catholic teaching in them and all the moral values that we think are good for children to grow. So that's why we have established all that. So by doing all these things, it is also the reason why we have decided to have that Jubilee project. Because at 50, we had a project, a school building in Nandom. That's the Jubilee School. Okay. Then at 60, we think that we should have another school, which will be a technical school. Now we're also being recognized as a congregation that is into a lot of this TVET education, a lot of technical men. And if you know Martin Wilde, he's so much interested in our programs. And then he's even thinking we should be able to collaborate with other parishes and other congregations in order to have a strong grip on the TVET education in Ghana. So we are still discussing all those things. But we think that having a Jubilee project like what we are establishing there will also help to let many people know what we have been up to since we came into Ghana. So it is worth celebrating.
Yeah. We visited the Jubilee project yesterday, and then looking at the equipment you have and other things. You know, private education in Ghana is very expensive.
Yes.
How flexible is yours going to be?
Thank you. We're aware that private education is very expensive, particularly the technical education. Yeah. It's very expensive. Look at all those equipment. We have to spend a lot to bring them on our own. In any case, it was the same thing that we did for the other schools that we have brought in government. When we were handling the tools were just in abundance. But all the tools, we spend a lot to bring in the tools. And there's no way we believe that even when we start that private school, we can break even. That's not the point. We are not thinking about breaking even. We are just thinking about how best we can help to educate people who are interested in the technical education. So we're going to start with the practical training. So those who have completed the technical schools and the finishing is not good. That's the problem we have here. In the South, you have people, technical men who can do very fine finishing. Here, the finishing is always bad when it comes to furniture and many of the things that they do. So we need to emphasize on it so that the finishing will be, they will have a finest finishing skills. And then we will also start the other technical training bit by bit. We would be paying for some, and then they also contribute, so that in the future, when they realize that those who are finishing this particular school are far, far better, you see that a lot of people may come in. And that's where we could make some operational break-ins. But as far as that project is concerned, it will take thousands of years to break even because of how expensive it is to run technical schools.
Is it difficult to be a leader?
To be a leader, I would say it is difficult to be a leader depending on your upbringing and any other thing that you become. It depends on how how humble you are and how you've been brought up and how you see leadership. So for me, whatever comes up in leadership is part of the reason why you've been put there. I don't see it as a difficulty. I see it as points of growth. If a brother should come in here and challenge me on something, I need to reflect on what the brother is saying. I can't just dismiss it. Or I start complain that this is what the brothers are doing and whatnot. So I will always try to find ways of handling different situations so that I'm able to learn a lot from what brothers bring up. But I believe that as human beings, we have a lot of talents, but you just need somebody to harness them and then to see how they come in and then handle them in the way that would be helpful. For me, leadership is not that. It's not just. I can't say it's difficult, but I can say that it is something that makes you to learn more, because you would meet situations that hitherto you wouldn't meet them. If you are not a leader, you wouldn't meet certain situations. No matter the description, you wouldn't be able to meet it. But once you become a leader and it comes, you grow by handling those issues. Okay. So difficulty is not in my vocabulary.
What is your take on community life?
Community life. For me, community life is one of the bedrocks of religious life. And it is a supporting pillar if you really want to be a religious. Without it, you will face some challenges. So I see the community as a place where, as religious, we support one another to enable us carry out our apostolate. Without it, it can be a challenge for many of us. The community kind of saves us from all kinds of challenges that could come our way. And for me, it is beneficial Without community life, maybe by now would have been gone. But with community life and with the support of my brothers, I'm able to stand afloat. We can only talk about some challenges in community life because of our background, where we are coming from different, different parents, different cultures, and all that. But with patience, if you are able to steady your fellow brother, your fellow religious, you know what the person appreciates, what he or she doesn't appreciate. It's easier to deal with them. And I also believe that in a community, if the brothers are level-headed, it's easier to move on. You begin to deal with issues and not personality.
It's not only the brothers, on both sides.
Okay. Yeah. So you need level-headed people in the community to survive the petty quarrels that come. Because most of the times, some will concentrate on some minute things that don't even matter.
Yeah.
They leave the issues. You have an idea, I have an idea, you argue your own strongly, many others will accept it. Then I think that, maybe because I'm not a human being, that's why they are not accepting my ideas. But if you look at ideas or issues, if we have issue-based discussions in our communities, there won't be much problem. Yeah. Because you all know that this is an issue we are discussing. It's not me, it's an issue. So if we agree on something else, then we move on that. Yeah. So that's how I see community life.
Yeah. Wrapping up for our discussion, what message do you have for your brothers and our viewers as well?
Yeah, to wrap up, I would like to tell my fellow brothers that we have been supporting one another since day one. We are FIC brothers. What we are doing, whether it's recognized or not, we know we are doing something. So we should continue to cement our living together. We should cement our community life, our apostolate, our prayer life. And we should deepen whatever we are doing, whether we are getting payments or not, because we know that our master is there, and at the end, we will benefit from him, and that is from God. Because whatever we are doing now is not our work. If we are able to do it, let us do it. If there are some challenges, let us make the effort to go beyond the challenges and to serve the people that God has entrusted in us. Yeah. And as brothers, we should take the community, our community life, very seriously and ensure that we come together as one, we will be able to overcome all challenges. Thank you.
Thank you very much, brother.
Thank you too.
It's a privilege to have you. Yes. And then we wish you a happy anniversary in advance. And then for the good works that you are doing, may God continue to replenish the efforts of the congregation, and as a result, bless you with more vocations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, this is all time will allow us on today's edition of Religious Vocation Digest. We came to you from the FIC Brothers Provincialate, and we did this discussion with their Provincial Superior, Brother Clement. I am Sister Marian, and I hope to see you next week. Bye.